I'm feeling a little nervous about this week, I'm not gonna lie. I am deleting the apps from my phone, but I'm even gonna screen record so that you guys can see that for 30 days, I'm not using any of these apps. Delete, delete. I don't need any of these apps. There's a lot to get rid of. Remove, remove. The only app I'm keeping is Boxer. I have to figure out how to stop the notifications because I thought I had them stopped. No, I think they're off. We'll check. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Or that. Or that. Gosh, there's so many apps. Well, hello there. Welcome to my backyard. Beautiful place. You can see it eventually. Actually, I can just do a little panorama of my beautiful yard. But I wanted to give you guys an update on what my week without technology has been like thus far. There's a helicopter flying by. So I have written down some notes from each day, and I want to share a little bit about what I have learned about myself. First of all, I paid attention on Monday, which was the day before I started my get rid of technology situation, and what I found was a little disconcerting. At any moment, like even the slightest, sliveriest bit of downtime, like I'm talking 10 seconds of downtime while I wait for a website to load, or when I am in a conversation and someone else is talking too long, I have this desire and this immediate reaction to check social media. Not exactly a good reaction to have, that any second of downtime is filled with social media. I posted a video on Monday, and literally throughout the day, multiple times, I was checking my YouTube studio for what? For comments, for views, just to check how it's doing. I don't know. I just had to check literally constantly. It's actually been really frustrating since Monday because I have not been able to check since Monday. It's been very frustrating that I can't check and that I can't know. But why do I need to know? What is the purpose of knowing? How does it benefit me in any way to know? I don't know, but I need to know for whatever reason. It is like a burning desire, a burning frustration. There was actually a moment when I had deleted all my apps, which you guys probably saw that little clip already. Delete. And after that, Tim was making dinner and I had about 10 minutes. You know what I would have normally done in this period? I would have pulled up a YouTube video, I would have pulled up a Netflix video, I would have pulled up a game, anything. I would have pulled up something to distract myself. But of course, I had deleted all my apps already, and if I couldn't do it that night, sure as heck wasn't gonna be able to do it for the next 30 days, so I sat there and I actually wrote a little journal entry during that time. Let's just say the first few days have been equally frustrating, where I want to check constantly. Yesterday was Saturday. Saturdays are the day that I check my socials, and just one specifically in my texts. After I checked them, I found myself wanting to check again. I found myself opening my phone and checking even though I had no reason to. There was literally nothing to gain by opening it, but I had started, and I know that if I went back to using technology right this second, I would be stuck. A couple nights ago, I was kind of bored and I was kind of lingering around Tim. He's like, why don't you play a video game? I think you're going a little gung-ho. I was almost tempted. I was very tempted to play a video game. Like, it sounded like a lot of fun. But the problem is, I have been escaping so much of my life through doing things, through playing video games, through watching videos, that I haven't been sorting through my thoughts effectively. And I'm talking like, I will just, the only times I would deal with my thoughts is when they became overwhelming, which, you know, as of late had been more and more frequent because of the fact that I had been more and more avoidant of them. It's been an interesting experience. One thing, though, that I'm pretty happy about is I did finish reading The Blade itself, which is the first in the First Law trilogy, and I am about 200 pages into the second book, which I've been reading like crazy. Is that because I have nothing else better to do? Yes. I also call Saturdays my social Saturdays or whatever. I got to go out, got to leave the house, got to go to a coffee shop and see my writer friends, and we did some writing. I didn't bring any writing tools except for a notebook, mostly because I walked there and I didn't want to carry it. It was like 90 that day. So I was writing in my book, and there's something that I have forgotten that I used to always write my rough drafts via hand because it makes you think a lot more to write it down. When you're typing, you can really get into a stream of consciousness, which is good for speed, but not good for thinking out what you're doing. So it's been really helpful actually to do that with my book, and actually really helpful to read the First Law trilogy, because this is the kind of style I want my book to read as. I don't want it to be a fantasy, you know, I don't want it to be the same kind of characters, but what I do want is a very character-driven story that has a good enough and more interesting world and plot to keep you through the mostly character-driven story. So it's been really helpful for me as well to recognize how distinguishable his individual characters are. Like, each character has a very distinctive character trait and some kind of physical trait to tell them apart from the others. Like, one of the characters, Pharaoh, has a giant scar across her face. Logan is covered in scars and he's missing a middle finger on one of his hands. I can't remember which hand. And then Glokta is missing his teeth. And then Giselle, he's just full of himself and kind of a pansy. Oh my gosh. I just got pooped on. Poop. Ew. At least it's purple, right? Well, I'm gonna go clean that off, but that's my little update as to where I'm at on day 6. I have to admit, I have not yet tried to run. I have been really scared of the idea of running, which is really stupid. It's been really hot, so that's been an easy excuse. Like, oh, it's hot outside, I don't want to run. But really all it is me being lazy. Why am I so afraid of running? Is it gonna hurt me? No, it's probably gonna help me. It's like, perhaps it's like all the failed attempts throughout all my life. Like, there were plenty of times I've tried to get myself to be a runner. Plenty of times. And now I think of myself as a sloth. I can lazily climb up a tree and walk and saunter around. But Lord forbid I run. Of the 7 deadly sins, I think sloth is my number 1 weakness. Or my number 1 culprit. It's the one that happens the most. I will run. Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the action despite fear. Cutting out social media does not remove your laziness. It does not get rid of the person that you are just because you have no more social media. All it does is reduce the clutter in your mind. Don't expect a 180 turnaround like I did, even though I knew I shouldn't. Understand that this is going to be a time for getting to know yourself.